I have a restraining order against a 60-year-old woman because of a red velvet cake. But the scary part isn't the stalking. It is what we found in her purse the day the police finally dragged her out of my bakery. If you think you have family drama, you are wrong. You have child's play. This is psychological warfare. Listen closely, because I am going to teach you exactly how to spot a narcissist before they ruin your life, and the one red flag this bride missed that almost cost her everything. I work as the lead consultant at a high-end structural bakery. We don't just do sheet cakes, we do edible architecture. We have a 3-strike rule for difficult clients, but we had never, in 10 years, had to ban a grandmother until this week. It started on a Tuesday. I had a consultation booked with a couple, let's call them Chloe and Liam. Chloe is this soft-spoken, artistic type, clearly excited but nervous. Liam is physically present, but his spine was evidently left at home. And then there is Patricia. They walk in, and immediately the energy shifts. The air gets cold. Patricia isn't just a mother-in-law, she is a presence. She is wearing a coat that costs more than my car, and she looks at our display cases like they are filled with dirt. I go into my standard greeting. Welcome, congratulations on the engagement, let's look at some portfolios. Chloe smiles and reaches for the iPad to show me her mood board. She wants a celestial midnight theme. Dark navy fondant, edible gold dust, constellations painted in silver, inside layers of dark chocolate and raspberry. It sounds gorgeous, edgy, modern, unique. Patricia actually laughs, a loud, barking laugh. She says, "Oh, honey, that looks like a funeral. No, we are doing the classic Victorian. White on white, sugar flowers, fruitcake tiers." Now, here is the thing. Chloe hates fruitcake. She physically recoils. She says quietly, "Patricia, we talked about this. Liam and I want chocolate." Patricia ignores her. She turns to me, laser-focused, and says, "She is just stressed. Put us down for the Victorian, 5 tiers, and make sure the top tier is alcohol-soaked fruitcake for the family tradition." I look at Chloe. Chloe looks at Liam. Liam looks at his shoes. He is studying the floor tiles like they contain the secrets of the universe. He says absolutely nothing, not a word. This is where most people would just awkwardly write down the order to keep the peace, but I don't get paid enough to watch a girl get steamrolled. So I look Patricia dead in the eye and say, "I'm sorry, ma'am, but the bride's name is on the contract." I take direction from the bride. Patricia's smile doesn't drop, but her eyes go dead. It was like looking into the void. She says, "My son is paying for half of this." Chloe speaks up, her voice shaking. "Actually, my parents are paying for the reception. Liam is paying for the bar. I'm paying for the cake." Boom. Silence. Patricia turns purple. She stands up, lights a cigarette inside the shop, which is illegal, by the way, and says, "We will see about that." She marches out. Liam finally looks up and whispers, "She's just passionate." Passionate? No. That was a predator testing the fence. Chloe apologizes profusely, we book the Midnight Galaxy cake, and I set up a security password on the account. I tell her, "Do not share this password with anyone, not even Liam." She looks confused, but she agrees. I wrote down the password, Icarus, because this whole situation was flying too close to the sun. Update 1. 2 days later. The phone rings. It's a woman's voice. Very sweet. Very fake. "Hi, this is Chloe's wedding planner. We need to make a tiny adjustment to the cake flavor. The bride has decided to go with the fruitcake after all, and we need to change the design to all white." My stomach drops. I know this voice. It's Patricia trying to mask her accent. I play along. "Oh, absolutely. I just need the account password to authorize the change." Silence. Long silence. Then, "Oh, silly me. I left my file in the car. Can't you just do it? I'm in a rush." No password, no changes. Store policy. The voice drops 3 octaves back to the demon growl. "Listen to me, you little wage slave. I am trying to save this wedding from looking like a goth prom. Change the cake, or I will ensure you never work in this city again." I hung up. I immediately logged the call. flagged the account as high risk, and texted Chloe. She called me back in tears. She didn't hire a wedding planner. Patricia was impersonating staff. But this is where it gets darker. Chloe tells me that Liam is mad at her. He told Chloe she is being unreasonable and disrespectful to his mother by keeping secrets like passwords. He is gaslighting her over a cake. I tell her to hold her ground. She sounds exhausted. I thought that was the end of it for the week. I was wrong. Update 2. Saturday morning rush. The shop is packed. I'm in the back piping rosettes on a birthday order when I hear shouting. Not just talking, screaming. I run out front. Patricia is there, but she isn't alone. She has brought 2 older women with her, her flying monkeys, and they are cornering my 16-year-old cashier. Patricia is holding a slice of our sample cake and screaming that it has glass in it. "Glass!" she is shrieking. "They are trying to kill people, look!" She is holding up a piece of clear, hardened sugar from our geode design. It looks like glass, but it is literally rock candy. She knows this. She is making a scene to destroy our reputation. Customers are putting down their pastries. People are filming. I step in between her and the crying teenager. "Ma'am, that is sugar. You know it is sugar." "It cut my gum. I'm suing you. I want this place shut down." She throws the cake on the floor. It shatters because it's hard candy. The theater of it all was impressive. I'll give her that. I did something risky. I picked up a piece of the glass from the floor and ate it. Crunch, crunch, swallow. "It's sugar, Patricia. Now get out before I call the police for trespassing." The humiliation on her face was worth every penny of my paycheck. She stormed out, her friends trailing behind her like confused ducklings. But as she left, she pointed a manicured finger at me and hissed, "You are ruining my son's life. You will pay for this." I went to check the security footage to save it for legal reasons, and that's when I saw something that made my blood run cold. While Patricia was screaming, one of her friends had slipped into the consultation area and taken photos of our appointment book. They were hunting for info. They wanted to know when Chloe was coming back. Update 3. Most people would cancel the order. My boss wanted to, but I begged him to keep it. I was emotionally invested now. I wanted Chloe to win. We locked the files. We warned the staff. But then, the betrayal came from inside the house. And this is the part that hurts to say. Liam came in alone on a Tuesday afternoon. He looked terrible. Dark circles, shaking hands. He ordered a coffee and asked to speak to me. He started crying. Actually crying. He said, "Please, just change the cake. I can't live like this. She calls me every hour. She shows up at my work. She says if I don't fix this, she will cut me out of the inheritance. Just make the white cake. Tell Chloe it was a mistake on the day of the wedding. Chloe loves me. She'll forgive me. My mom won't." I looked at this grown man weeping into a latte, asking me to lie to his future wife to appease his mommy. I felt sick. I realized then that he wasn't a partner to Chloe. He was a hostage to Patricia. I told him, "Liam, if I do that, Chloe will leave you. Not because of the cake, but because you lied. If you want to marry her, you need to stand up." He wiped his face, stood up, and his demeanor changed instantly. The sadness vanished, replaced by a cold, petulant anger. "You're just a baker," he sneered. "You don't understand family loyalty. Fine, do it your way. Watch what happens." He walked out. 10 minutes later, our online reviews were hit by a bot farm. 51-star reviews in an hour. Found a rat, food poisoning, rude owner, all fake, all clearly paid for. But the scariest part? One review mentioned my full legal name and my home address. Doxing. Patricia had weaponized the internet. I called Chloe. She didn't pick up. I called again, straight to voicemail. I had a pit in my stomach the size of a bowling ball. I thought, she's done. She broke up with him. But the reality was worse. Chloe showed up at the bakery 2 hours later, shaking. Liam had taken her phone. He had confiscated it to stop her from conspiring with me. She had to use an old iPad to message me. She was hiding in her car. She said, I think I need to cancel the wedding, but I've already paid deposits on everything. I'm scared. I told her, Chloe, come inside. We are calling the police. Update 4. While Chloe was in my office drinking tea and shaking, Patricia arrived. She didn't know Chloe was there. She marched in with a smug look, holding a clipboard. She marched right up to the counter and announced, I am the new wedding coordinator for the Liam and Chloe wedding. I am here to do a total overhaul of the vendor contract. She handed me a piece of paper. It was a forged contract. It had Chloe's signature on it, a traced, shaky signature. It authorized a full refund of the Galaxy cake and a new deposit for a fruitcake tower, twice the price, from a different bakery that Patricia's friend owned. She was trying to steal the money. She wanted us to refund the money to her card, not Chloe's. I'll need that refund processed to this Visa, she said, tapping a platinum card on the counter. I smiled. It was the shark smile. Certainly. Let me just verify the signature. I walked into the back office. I didn't verify the signature. I called the cops. Then I told Chloe, your mother-in-law is out front trying to embezzle your wedding funds. Chloe stopped shaking. You know that moment in a movie where the hero snaps? That was this moment. She stood up. She wiped her face. She looked 10 feet tall. She walked out of that office like a gladiator entering the arena. Patricia's jaw dropped when she saw Chloe. What are you doing here? You're supposed to be at work. And you, Chloe said, her voice deadly calm, are supposed to be in jail. Patricia laughed. Don't be dramatic. I'm fixing your mistakes. You have terrible taste. I'm not talking about the cake, Chloe said. I'm talking about the fraud. I'm talking about stealing my identity to change contracts. I'm talking about the harassment. Patricia scoffed. I'm doing this for Liam. He hates your ideas. He tells me everything. He hates the cake. He hates your dress. He thinks you are controlling. And right then, Liam walked in. He had tracked Chloe's car. He saw his mom, saw Chloe, and panic washed over him. Patricia turned to him. Tell her, Liam. Tell her we fixed the cake. Liam looked at Chloe. He looked at his mom. And he made the choice that ruined his life. He walked over to his mom and said, Chloe, baby, don't cause a scene. Mom just wants to help. Let's just do the white cake. It's not a big deal. Chloe took off her ring. She placed it gently on the counter next to the register. You're right, Liam. It's not a big deal, because there is no wedding. Patricia shrieked. You selfish little brat. You can't do this. We have guests coming from Europe. You can marry him then, Chloe said. You basically already are. That was when the police arrived. I had reported the fraud attempt. They asked for Patricia's ID. She refused. She started screaming that I was a thief. She tried to grab the ring off the counter. The officer grabbed her arm. She swung her purse at him. A heavy designer leather bag. It connected with the officer's face. Smack. That was it. Handcuffs. Screaming. Dragging her out. Liam was crying, begging Chloe to tell them to stop. Chloe just watched, stone cold. But remember I told you about the purse? The mystery at the end? When the police inventoried her bag at the station, they found a notebook, a little black moleskin. Chloe's lawyer got access to it during the restraining order hearing. It wasn't just wedding plans. It was a ledger. Patricia had been siphoning money from Liam's bank account for years, disguising it as investments. Liam was broke. He didn't know. The reason she was so obsessed with controlling the wedding vendors? She needed the deposits to be cheap so she could pocket the difference to cover her theft before Liam found out. She wasn't just a control freak. She was a criminal. She wanted the cheap fruitcake because she had already spent the budget for the Galaxy cake on online gambling. Update 5. The fallout was nuclear. Chloe pressed charges. The wedding was obviously canceled. Liam tried to crawl back, saying he was a victim too. Chloe told him that a man who can't protect his wife from his mother is not a husband, he is a dependent. She blocked him on everything, but the story doesn't end on a sad note. Chloe came back to the bakery yesterday. She looked tired, but free. She said, I have a store credit, right? You sure do, I said. Okay, I want a cake, but not for a wedding. She ordered a freedom party cake. We made it Midnight Galaxy themed, just like she wanted. But on the top, instead of a bride and groom, we put a little fondant figure of a woman kicking a suitcase off a cliff. She invited her bridesmaids, her family, and yes, she invited me. We ate that cake, and let me tell you, red velvet tastes a lot better when it's not seasoned with toxic family dynamics. And here is the lesson for everyone watching. When someone shows you who they are, believe them the first time. If your partner won't defend you against their family, you are not just marrying an individual, you are marrying a system. And sometimes, the best thing you can do is leave the ring on the counter and walk away before you end up legally bound to a monster. Patricia is currently awaiting trial for fraud and assaulting an officer. Liam is living in a studio apartment, broke. Chloe is going to Paris next week with the money she saved. And me? I'm just happy I never have to hear the word fruitcake ever again. If you have ever dealt with a monster-in-law, tell me in the comments. I need to know I'm not alone in this madness. And if you're planning a wedding, for the love of God, set a password with your vendors.